We're back here with Sell for 1%. I'm Dave Barlow along with SB, JB, and MH. You throw everything off with that H. Can we change your name to Bullwinkle or something like that?
Bullwinkle.
Then you can be MB.
I like that.
There you go. So we got our house of the week this week. And Jay Marinsky, this is an interesting home for sure. What do you got for us?
If anyone's been at Goodale Park, it is likely that you have seen this house and gone, whoa, that's a big old house. This week's house of the week is the Circus House, also known as the Sells House, and it is on the corner of Goodale Park there in Victorian Village. It is a 3-story, 7,500 square foot house in an eclectic design using numerous architectural styles. Was built for Peter Sells of the Sells family, who was one of the owners of the Sells Brothers Circus. And you can see that circus inspiration in the roof of the house. It kind of looks like a circus.
Cool. Like a big top.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Brief history on the home. Peter and Mary Sells had the house built in the 1890s, and it was influenced by a trip to California that they had. And so you can see that with the terracotta style roof. It was completed in 1895 and furnished with all sorts of different decor from their world travels. They ended up splitting up after a widely publicized infidelity-fueled divorce in the 1900s. And it was said that while Peter Sells traveled with the circus, his wife Mary had been unfaithful with William Bott, who was the owner of Bott Brothers Billiards and Saloon, which is today's site of Elevator Brewery and Draught House.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so it was actually a countrywide story about the affair. So,
on the gossip pages.
Tell you how popular circuses were back in the 1900s.
Yeah,
everyone wanted to know.
That's cool.
And then Peter ended up dying in 1904, and the house had various different tenants, and it was mostly group homing. It was a home of hope for alcoholics, a lodge for a fraternal order of police. It was a United Commercial Travelers traveling salesman house, and operated for 30 years as a daycare center.
Wow.
Kidding.
Yeah. And so in 1998, it was transformed back into a single family house and has changed hands a few times since then. The last owner before its current owner had installed a 20 by 38 foot pool outside the house, which you can see from the outside as you're walking past. There's a big gate, big old pool now. And he also added a kitchen on the 3rd floor. And that owner had hoped to entertain customers for his insurance company at the house. But instead, it led the clients to kind of believe this guy doesn't need our business. He's doing real well with this house. What does he need our business for? And
I'm paying too much.
Yeah, exactly. This insurance guy's business is booming.
There you go. I got to move my business. I'm paying too much in insurance.
Little did they know, they know he was actually in debt from the renovations, and the house was foreclosed on and put up for auction.
Fine.
Yeah, very unfortunate. At first, when it went up for auction, it failed to meet the minimum bid. And then it went back up for auction in July 2020 without a minimum bid, and the current owners had purchased it for $873,400, which if you look at this house, you would never guess it would sell for less than $1 million.
That's like $10 a square foot.
Pretty crazy. It also has, a carriage house, disconnected from it, and just the reason it went for that price is because it was in disrepair. A lot of vagrants in and out of the house, taking copper piping and all sorts of stuff. And so the new owners actually estimated the repairs at about the cost of the sale.
Wow.
Jeez.
Or 880,000. Yeah.
That's wild.
They did a lot of work. They've actually completed in March of this year, completed all of the renovations, but had wanted to really restore it to its previous circus-like glory. And so after doing a lot of the base stuff, electrical services and wiring completely redone, pouring concrete for the remaining dirt portion of the basement flooring, plumbing and gas lines. They replaced the geothermal unit and added solar panels to help with the $600+ monthly electrical bill.
Wow.
And the entire house is made of brick. And so they had a bunch of that brick restored. It was in pretty bad shape. And that was the first thing they actually did before it got into the winter when they had bought it. And so they did a lot of kind of necessary repairs, and then went on to do a lot of the kind of restoration work, which included a 500-pound handmade glass chandelier, designed a hoist and put it up in the attic to kind of lower this thing to clean it. And then in a nod to the circus theme, the couple had admired bronze elephants that were kind of historical pictures throughout the house, and a lot of them had been either stolen or removed from the house. And so when they bought the house, they bought a bunch of new kind of elephant themed things to put in kitchen areas, third floor, all over the house essentially. And so they have Italian wallpaper featuring a tightrope walker in the back staircase. And so they did a lot of cool renovations to bring it back into its kind of former glory, and a nod to, you know, the circus theme throughout. And so they were noted as they wanted to salvage as much as possible of the old house. And so I think they've done a good job.
Very cool.
Wow, what an education. Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine back in 1895, a 7,500 square foot house? I mean, like the average house size back then had to be like 900 square feet or something. Yeah. And you got this monolith.
It's like a castle at that point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's huge.
In the kitchen ceiling, there's 2 steel beams supporting a lot of the house, and they kind of discovered it as they were going through renovating it. And they're 2 feet tall, 12 inches wide, and 31 feet long.
Wow.
And they were like, this would have taken a team of horses to get up when they
Can you imagine?
built the house. Yeah.
Or 2 elephants from the circus.
There you go.
You know, it's interesting. Who was the architect? Who was the engineer that thought all this and made it work? That's incredible.
Yeah, it's Packard and I forget exactly who it was. Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Packard and Yost.
Good German architects.
That's incredible. That is awesome.
Let's overbuild this thing because we might have a train pass over sometime.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's crazy. And the Carriage House. What I understand that the current owners, or maybe a former owner, turned the Carriage House into like its own condo complex of some sort.
So I think it was previous owners that had it kind of as a, you know, Airbnb or mother-in-law suite. The current owners have it as their financial business kind of headquarters.
Okay.
And so they do a lot of meetings and things like that for the business there.
So the Carriage House is like 2,500 square feet. It's as big as anything else down there in Victorian Village by itself.
By itself, yeah.
Yeah. So very cool. I mean, the circus business was very good back then.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So any idea what it cost to build that thing? Did you happen to see that anywhere?
I did not. No.
We'll do some checking on that, but you got to think, you know, in $1,895, a house like that today, 7,500 square feet, is probably a couple $1 million, $3 million to build. So back then it probably cost about $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of hands-on work.
and 2 elephants.
And 2 elephants.
There you go. So, all right, Jamie, thank you. The Circus House right there on Goodell Park. Very cool. Thank you.